If you haven't seen the previous video in this series, follow the link on your screen or click the link in the description or pinned comment below.
In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be bargained with. No remorse, no pain, no fear. This weapon will be called the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. Your future is in its hands.
California has not been flooded by rising tide due to global warming.
Golly, I'd hate to sound like a climate change denier, but California is not going to be flooded in 2029. Hell, we barely have water as it is. It's more likely to be on fire, is what I'm saying.
Reading
Is fundamental.
Never leave your car during a lightning storm.
Is great advice. During a lightning storm.
Robot ass.
That's incelsist.
Hey, my turn!
Bill Paxton is, by no stretch of the imagination, Johnny Rotten.
Sinning Bill Paxton in a science fiction and or Arnold Schwarzenegger movie cliche.
There's no way any of these dudes wears something Arnold-sized.
Let's examine that claim, shall we? Bill Paxton was just about 6 foot even. The actor that the Terminator steals clothes from, Brad Reardon, is slightly taller than Bill at around 6'1". Arnold in his prime was 6'2" and about 230 pounds. In this still, you can see the clothing Brad was wearing was clearly very baggy, meaning even the supremely jacked Arnold would fit this guy's jacket and pants.
12th, May, Thursday.
May 12, 1984 was a Saturday.
Jeremy is correct here. May 12, 1984 was a Saturday. What I'd like to point out is something I've tried to point out in the past about movie production dates. You see, this movie was written in 1982 and was set to begin filming in early 1983, but due to scheduling conflicts was rescheduled for 1984. May 12, 1983 was in fact a Thursday, meaning the script simply didn't change outside of reflecting the release year, as the movie was originally supposed to be set in 83. So the sin is valid, and I won't sin CinemaSins here, but people should now understand what I mean when I say this movie was made in X year. I still got morons telling me Return of the Jedi was made in 1983. No, it was not.
Worst padlock ever.
This is a scene manipulation, albeit a very slick one. Kyle shoots the padlock to get it open. If you watch the full scene with subtitles, you can hear and see the gunshot in the subtitles.
He's got my gun, let's go!
Man from Future knows what a payphone is and how to read a phone book.
Depending on what timeline we're following, Kyle Reese was born in 2003, 6 years after the original Judgment Day. He states that his parents used to tell him all about life before Judgment Day, and I would assume that would include something about phone books. Payphones and phone books went out of fashion in about 2010 in the real world anyway.
Hey, that's the same name Kyle pointed at in the phone book.
A silly sin. Jeremy is trying to point out that this is redundant, but the problem is clear. You see, there are many Sarah Connors, and the movie is showing you this is the relevant Sarah Connor. An entire plot point of this film involves the T-800 killing multiple Sarah Connors to get to the right one. They even refer to it as the phone book killer.
What would Kyle and the Terminator have done if she wasn't in this phone book?
Found her another way. Who knows and who cares? That was a question, not something wrong with this movie. What would have happened to Earth if Tony Stark wasn't betrayed by Obadiah Stane, thereby leading to the creation of Iron Man? Would Thanos have won and eliminated half of all life unopposed? Is that something wrong with Iron Man 1?
A robot who knows his manners.
T-800s are cyborgs, not robots.
This address was not in the phone book and is eerily similar to the gun store address.
In Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Volume 2, I criticized you for lying about not using the IMDb goof section for your videos. To be clear, there isn't anything inherently wrong with doing this, but the fact that you lie about it is sinful. This sin is clearly and obviously ripped from the IMDb goof section for this film.
Once again, Sarah Connor brutally shot to death in her home this afternoon.
News reports random woman's murder within seconds of it happening.
False. The anchor states the murder happened in the afternoon. This report is happening at 5 p.m. You know how I know that? Because there is a clock on the wall at the beginning of this scene.
So incredible. You're not going to believe this. Sit down. You are going to love this.
Once again, Sarah Connor, 35, mother of two, brutally shot to death in her home this afternoon.
You're dead, honey.
This is how we know you aren't observant enough to have known about the addresses in the previous sin and snagged that info from IMDb.
The smog in LA actually improves in the future.
Why wouldn't it? Humans have all but died out. There are no more cars on the highway and machines have taken over. Besides, isn't no smog a good thing? Why are you sending it?
First, I'm gonna rip the buttons off your blouse one by one.
This is funny and all, but Ginger's boyfriend knows she has a roommate, right? He's just gonna launch into phone sex at the first hello?
Yeah, because that's what happened. I mean, you're just repeating what the film itself is saying.
A one-day pattern killer. I hate the weird ones.
Oh, this cop prefers your run-of-the-mill serial killers.
Well, yeah, because they follow patterns that makes it easy to capture them. The weird ones are the difficult cases.
No, I keep getting an answering machine.
Well, we saw her check her messages a minute ago. Isn't the point of answering machines to leave messages? Especially messages that contain pertinent information, like, hey, some crazy dude is killing people named Sarah Connor. Call us back. Also, if the police were worried that she was in danger, wouldn't the answering machine always picking up be a red flag? Send someone to her address already.
Blatant scene manipulation. Play the entire scene next time. The cops state they called her multiple times and sent a unit to her home and no one was there.
Did you reach the next girl yet?
No, I keep getting an answering machine.
Send a unit.
I sent a unit. There's no answer to the door, and the apartment manager's not home.
I sent a unit. There's no answer to the door, and the apartment manager's not home.
Call her.
I just called her.
Call her again. Give me a cigarette.
Sarah Ann Connor was pronounced dead at the scene in her Santa Monica apartment.
No matter where she is, Sarah just happens to be near TVs that are playing news broadcasts about her dead namesakes.
So?
Excessive postcoital snack.
It's only excessive if you're not doing it right. Once again, my condolences, Mrs. Sins.
This is the terrible flaw of the find them in the phone book system. He's shooting the wrong woman. If Sarah doesn't call while he's here, he thinks the job is done and goes out to do robot cocaine and cyborg hookers to celebrate.
Again, all you're doing is explaining what the movie itself is explaining. We know the plan is flawed, but that is the best Skynet could do, as Sarah's information was scarce in the future. All it knows is her name, the year, and that she's the mother of the person that will destroy it.
Ginger, this is Sarah. Pick up if you're there.
Worst timing ever.
Or best, considering this chain of events leads to John Connor's birth, ultimately resulting in the defeat of Skynet.
This cyborg is a racist.
This is true, but not for the reason you're saying. Besides, he cripples a white guy in the same scene.
Traffic laws go out the window again.
Jeremy thinks laws matter to a person running for their lives from a murderous, unstoppable cyborg.
Infiltration unit. Part man, part machine. Underneath, it's a hyperalloy combat chassis.
A car chase is a wonderful time for exposition.
It is, especially after she was demanding answers.
This is a mistake. I didn't do anything.
No, but you will.
This isn't true. How could that man just get up after you did
He's not a man. Terminator. Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
Can you stop it?
Instantaneous acceptance of a completely ludicrous premise.
Dude, she saw a man shot multiple times with a shotgun get up and chase her like it was a 5K. The news has been reporting multiple Sarah Connors getting gunned down, and she just had an attempt on her life. Now is not the time for incredulity.
The ever-careful Kyle Reese starts up the car before checking to see if there's a cop car with flashing lights on behind him.
But he did check. There were multiple cop cars in this parking structure, and the Terminator pulled up literally as he was starting the car. You've made it seem like the T-800 was there, then he decided to start the car.
The 600 series had rubber skin. We spotted them easy. But these are new. They look human.
This is the difference between Doylist and Watsonian criticism. Jeremy is juxtaposing a Watsonian description of a character, in this case Kyle's description of T-800s, against a Doylist observation. In other words, he's using the in-universe descriptor to criticize 1984 special effects. The problem with this is outside of these scenes where they're clearly using an animatronic, the T-800 looks like a real person, because he's played by a real person. Stupid criticism is stupid.
Nothing dead will go.
Cyborg, if it's metal.
Surrounded by living tissue.
You're basically saying that an unfeeling, unthinking time travel device that only works with living tissue can be fooled into sending metal back in time.
Those are the rules of time travel in this universe. This is why Skynet grows living tissue for the Terminators. The form of time travel it developed can only work within these parameters. It's so weird to me that you can criticize movies like No Way Home for not explaining magic, but when the magic is given rules and limits, you lament the rules and limits. The fuck do you want? Magic that is thoroughly explained but is also bound by no rules? Those are contradictory.
Most of the records were lost in the war.
Skynet forgot the internet.
The internet was incredibly rudimentary in 1997. We didn't have most of the world's history documented on the internet like we do today back in 97, dude.
Skynet knew almost nothing about Connor's mother. Her full name, where she lived. They just knew the city.
Skynet had no records of Connor's mother, but they took a wild guess and guessed she was from LA just because.
You literally play a scene of Kyle stating Skynet knew what city Sarah was from and come away with, it was a wild guess. How is it possible to be this obtuse?
In technical terminology, he's a loon.
They teach you this in your third year of criminal psychiatry courses.
Sinning characterization. As anyone can see in the first two movies, Dr. Silberman is written to be an asshole.
Suppose you know who the father is, so I won't tell him to get lost when I meet him.
Or the
Wait, I don't want to know.
Writers craft a fiendishly convenient way to protect that whole free will thing.
Jeremy sins the Bible.
Leather jackets and soot protect humans from decades of nuclear fallout.
As far as we are aware, fallout remains up to 5 years after the blast. As this is 2029, or 32 years after Judgment Day, I think they aight.
Dogs are still racist in the future.
The dogs are barking at the Terminator behind the black guy, because dogs can distinguish Terminators from humans. Also, I think it's racist to point out every single time there's a black person on screen. You do it all the time, almost like you've never seen a black person before.
Damn! And so are movie writers.
See?
Also, Kyle f***s John's mom.
That's kind of what being a dad entails. They're all motherfuckers.
A dog barking is all the proof Kyle and Sarah need to get the hell out of the Tiki Motel.
Which was the point of showing you 2 separate scenes demonstrating that dogs are early warning alarms for Terminators. Kyle has every reason to be afraid of a dog barking, considering there is a Terminator after them, and the fact that he knows they use dogs for this ability.
Advanced intelligence makes no effort to shoot out tires.
CinemaSins continues to perpetuate the myth that shooting out tires is easier than shooting at the vehicle itself.
This truck driver doesn't see a human-sized shape on a well-lit road and then decides to honk his horn instead of slowing down.
Jeremy doesn't understand that stopping a semi-truck that is moving at highway speeds is incredibly difficult, and that blaring the horn instead theoretically gives the person time to get out of the way. Besides, there are tons of videos on YouTube showing cars being unable to slow down quickly enough to avoid something on the road or highway.
So traffic laws are more like guidelines?
Jeremy thinks murderous cyborgs from the future should follow traffic laws.
Robot bitch slap.
Cyborg bitch slap. Also, sending cyborg bitch slaps.
Man, how lame to be conceived by a subordinate officer. Am I right? Who calls who sir in that relationship?
Well, his father will be younger than him when he meets him, so technically he's still the senior officer. Kinda like our relationship. You were first, but I'm still sunning you.
How can it not know what it is?
Commerce is our goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.